Is finally about to start. We're on the starting grid where the engineers are completing their checks before the off. Today is a... Here at the Sachsenring, everything's ready for the off. The riders' focus at its highest. It's crucial not to drop positions off the start on this track.
Today, this 30-lap race in these hot conditions, a bit of a heat wave sweeping through. Team, there's still a Rossi grandstand here, paying homage to his return. Rossi, he was Yamaha's last winner at the scene, potentially.
Be a class. He's got plenty of support there in the grandstands, but he's got his work cut out today. He's here this afternoon. Here he is.
Will it be the big showdown then between circuit yesterday? He had a fantastic Fabio Quartararo being torpedoed out at turn 1 by Nakagami.
He has switched to the hard.
It just gives you a clear indication, doesn't it, just how much these road conditions, the track temperature last year, Pecco Bagnaia was the only man who finished Quartararo, and Fabio the Gian Antonio, Fabio from Fabio, in the day where he breaks his victory duck in MotoGP. Coming into this round 10 is Fabio Quartararo on the Monster Energy Yamaha machine, the only man on the front row.
Through injury, who will step onto his throne here at the Sachsenring? Contender Joan Mir, the number 36, starting P12 with Takaki.
Marc Marquez, the undisputed king of the Sachsenring, reluctantly our race winner at the end of 30 physically and mentally demanding races here. Honda the last 11, 2009. Ducati, who have 6 bikes, be the first rider to pre the hottest condition of the weekend so far. Ambient temperatures 30 in MotoGP, and when he starts in the front row, Quattro Prix of 2021, P1. Back-to-back wins for the first time in Barcelona. 20 to the halfway point. Here in MotoGP, it is go. Great launch from pole position by Ducati's Pecco Bagnaia into the first corner. Quartararo then in P1.
Malaysia spot good launch off the line. Di Gianantonio still holds fifth place, and Jack Miller
Launch off the line, got up the inside of Bagnaia, toughed it out on the brakes, and the front tyre pressure and temperature will be fundamentally key.
slingshot here down to turn 12, but he's just behind Taka Nakagami. Maverick Vinales getting aggressive there up the inside of Luca Marini. He's up into P7.
Classic move, trail braking, tricky downhill braking zone to the first corner. You've got to be inch perfect here. Oh, bang, right hand side of Pecco Bagnaia's Ducati coming.
A real stack up the inside of Bagnaia. Quartararo.
Unbelievable, flat out in fifth gear, 200 kilometres an hour on a MotoGP bike. Places now in P3.
Alicia Spargo just had to play the long game there. He had to let that one. Also passed him earlier on in that lap. You can see the indicator on the left hand side of your screen.
The inside of fellow Ducati riding around the circuit with a 122. Bagnaia into turn one a couple of laps ago on the inside, and Quartararo just, well, there wasn't a lot of room
in the closing stages for Fabio Quartararo, but he can manage it in the closing stages.
Pecco Bagnaia's gone down, and surely that is, well, he was wiped out in controversial circumstances in Bahrain Grand Prix. A drift in the World Championship. Surely that is game over for Pecco Bagnaia and Ducati. So
nowhere near each other on the race. Second bike in your picture, Pecco Bagnaia. Is he a little bit wide? He is a tad wide. He tries to bring around. It's a long way around the corner.
Yeah, the rear just steps out from underneath it, and we've lost the pre-season World Championship favourite start of this group. Darren Binder now's gone down as well.
The bull by the horns and took the lead early. He won that early battle on the brakes with Bagnaia into turn one on the second lap of the Grand Prix. Here,
yeah, the rear just comes out. You could just hear him there. The power back in, tap the power back in. Davide Tardozzi, blunder by Bagnaia, just losing the rear as he tapped the throttle back in. So Pecco Bagnaia is surely, even though we're only the halfway point of the championship,
riders in this top four, because Vinales is now up into fourth position.
That's Taka Nakagami. Taka Nakagami, his teammate Taka Nakagami. That's a fast old crash there. Furial Marc Marquez, their lone representation now in this Grand Prix, full at the Sachsenring as his meltdown was looming large. 18th, which remains the worst finish of the Formula 3 in Austria, where it all imploded for Maverick Vinales. And this is rear lifeline, fighting for podiums again in the sideways. Look at that rear tyre, half a foot in the air.
The thing I'm looking out for is, can he keep the tyres going? He's got less experience at managing
race. A 1:22.047 as the Gianantonio gets there a little bit hot in the first corner. So Miller then back in sixth place. So it's
Quartararo and Zarco matching each other for pace on the last lap in the 22.0s.
One question here for Maverick Vinales fans might just be over that medium rear tyre. He's to lose the front end there. We saw Alexis Spargo and Jack Miller do it in FP4. Quartararo to a late apex then. Massimo Rivola. Has he got any fingernails left from Vinales as they drop down to the Waldman curve on lap number 11 here in Germany?
Vinales is the quicker of these two Aprilias at the moment. He was a couple of tenths faster on this of the Grand Prix, so keep an eye on Vinales. If he can keep that up to something like within range, he might well be a threat in the closing stage. Aro Vinales and Paul Espargaro in 11th, who are on that medium rear option.
Beautiful aspirations, because he will move up into third place in the rankings with Enea Bastianini right now struggling down in 13th place. It's been
right now with no one ahead of him, empty track in front of him, and he'll hope to have empty track ahead of him for the next 18 laps. It's a real test on the concentration of the reigning world champion.
There's a message from Marc Marquez on Instagram. The problems that they had keeping temperature and pressure down in the group was really, really difficult, and that will be an issue that Maverick Vinales may well encounter right now, right in the slipstream.
Just yet, the lead down to 1 ahead of Fabio Di Gianantonio. He took laps ago, and Di Gianantonio will soon have his former Gracini Moto3.
The stage is Bagnaia already out of this Grand Prix. Joan Mir was also an early.
Kind of in the wrong order, because I think Maverick Vinales has got more.
This is on board then with Paul Espargaro, looking back to Joan Mir, who was just squeezed just further around the corner, wasn't he? And fellow Frenchman Johan Zarco, who in turn is now 4 seconds clear of a later Spa GP, keeping Martin and Marini still behind him.
Challenge looks to have been settled down for now, but this, as you say, is the key battle as a result of that. But Miller fighting back, and Vinales got
into turn 9. He was just about to click from third to fourth. Lap of his race so far by the standing start, but he still increases his advantage over Zarco. This is surely where his title hopes in 2022, at 1.7 seconds behind
the earlier problem that's preventing him from taking in a further competitive part
at that. Look,
look
how
low it is.
that time for multiple manufacturers this season. We've seen that high-tech
To that in the wet race in Indonesia, but because it was wet, he was able to ride through the problem. And Jack Miller chasing a podium finish. Miller hasn't been on the podium since the French Grand season from the factory Ducati team. He wants to go out on a high from the factory Ducati.
the hard-charging Jack Miller. It looks like just a matter of time, doesn't it, for the other to sweep on through. Three more will.
Miguel Oliveira now in that battle. Oliveira's 2.6. You could just see in the background there, the shuffling around. Marini's now past.
Experience maybe in terms of time management just hurting him late on here. He's done a fantastic job.
The device that triggers the rear ride height device or the device itself.
Going here comes Jack Miller. He's leaving his braking ultra late on the front end. That's not going to work out. Paul Espargaro has just run out of puff here. He was battered and broke. But let's find out exactly what's happened to the Spanish rider.
Yeah, he was back. Top 6 finishes in the last couple of Grand Prix. The best ever finish.
He's retiring. His teammate Taka Nakagami on turn number 8. Now Paul Espargaro's pitted as well. And all this means we're left with are the points in 17th place. There can't be too
6 more laps as he completes this final sector. But if there is the number 10 coming through the frame, he just did a 1:22.5. He's the fastest.
They've got no chance of reeling in Miguel Oliveira in 9th. Oliveira, of course, was the man.
Let's take a look at the final classification of the MotoGP race before the traditional podium ceremony.